Hello, Dark Paladin Studios here today, along with The Prince Prevails, and we're going to tell you the true history of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime series. First of all, the orders released in the franchise have been stated under false pretenses, and we're here to set the story straight, starting from what actually happened first in the storyline.
We'll start with Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal, which was the beginning arc of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Plot. You see, Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal was the first anime story to feature Scouters, which in turn inspired Akira Toriyama to use Scouters on the Saiyan Warriors and Dragon Ball Z series. This is true because the creators of Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal, Shin Yoshida and Naito Miyoshi, actually discovered time travel and went back to before they were born to befriend Toriyama and toss ideas. Also, Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal seems to take place in the future because of this incident with the creators. But it's actually very distant in the past, because after watching only about the first 5 episodes, you realize it's obvious that synchroids and fusions don't exist yet. Also, Yuma was the first duelist to have a dual spirit, which then became the main trademark of the interest for the other series. The only reason Yuma was never a popular duelist to go down in history is because he later loses a duel to his friend Tori's grandfather, who was a direct ancestor of Seto Kaiba. And this is how we lead on to his green hair in the second story of the timeline, Season 0.
In this plot, Kaiba is the top duelist until Yugimoto solves a puzzle because he has 0% of any social life and defeats him in a worldwide card game, causing Kaiba to go to the Shadow Realm to think about his selfish decisions.
During this thinking time, we go on to the third series, which is Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, for the reason that Yami is still alive, and in the last episode, Yugi has the Millennium Puzzle. Also, the author of GX, Nayayuki Taijima, made up a card design called a Wing Karibo, which he grew deeply fond of, making Yami give one to Jaden, causing him to be the first protagonist with a dual monster spirit guide. His hair is also based off this monster, so according to these references, Wing Karibo is the sexiest creature ever invented in the otaku world.
Now, as Kaiba wakes up from his dark coma, he decides to dye his hair brown to look like the most cliche and simplest character in anime history, leading on to the fourth arc in the timeline, the regular Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. In this, Kazuki Takahashi, the author, decides to prequel his colleague Kageyama and make an original Karibo monster for Yugi and Yami to use on their card game battles throughout the series. Now, as the years go on, after everyone sufferingly forfeits their Millennium items, and Yami, or Tim, the Pharaoh, goes back to his own era, the planet then suffers a deep depression, which spawns the fifth and final series thus far for the Yu-Gi-Oh! World, 5Ds.
This is obviously the latest series because it's the only one where the characters ride vehicles to duel instead of standing on the ground. Yusei Fudo was the second character in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Franchise that featured a dual monster as a spiritual companion. Also, the character Trudge from the series is a reincarnation of the character Ushio from Season 0 because he died when Yami sent him into a cardiac arrest. He was given the opportunity to be a duelist and face off against Yusei, but was defeated and lost all his pride, so was banned from anime for the rest of existence. The twins Leo and Luna have green-colored hair because they are representing the style of the late Seto Kaiba's original colors, but thus, in the end, they make the world a better place, and Yusei rides his motorbike through a hoop at an intersection into an ocean, committing suicide to go down in history as the craziest king of games so far.
So this is the most accurate information you will find so far on the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series story, and we hope this has settled any false content you have heard in the past.